Please raise your hand if you are already retired or you want to be retired in the future. Next question. Please raise your hand if you do not want to be retired. Thank you. My mother, she's retired as a public university professor at the age of 60, but she's continued to work, and she's an 84 years old YouTuber who will tell you cool tips and tricks about how to learn French. Wouldn't it be nice if you can choose to continue working as long as you can, regardless of your age? I do think that would be nice. I am 44 years old, and I do not want to be retired. I want to continue working, be valued, and have a purpose in my life as long as I can, regardless of my age. Now, the reason that I'm asking you these questions is because I think if we do not rethink about aging and retirement, we're going to have serious problems in the future. In April 2023, India became the most populated country in the world, surpassing China with 1.4 billion people. Yes, this is a major demographic shift in the world, but there is another one coming that fewer people are actually aware about. According to the data from the United Nations, India will surpass China and will be the country with the highest number of senior citizens, meaning people who are older than 60 years old, in the world by the year 2067. So will this transformation be a blessing for a lot of senior citizens in India, or will it be more like a suffering? For me, as an economist who has been working on the topic of population aging, especially in the context of developing countries for many years, I think it depends on one critical factor, and that is our ability to democratize senior employment. There's a common belief that senior citizens should not work, do not need to work, and therefore there's no reason to create jobs for them, which means that as we age, finding jobs will be more and more difficult. In the past, when life expectancies was low, yes, it's okay that retirement age is set at the age of 60, but people live much longer. So why do we still following this old-fashioned idea? And think about this. For some people who have been living from hand to mouth throughout their lives, is it fair that they are deprived from the right to have a job simply because of their age? And think about this. The moment that someone loses their ability to have a job, their life could be turned upside down for the worse. And poverty is not the only negative consequences here. A lot of people will feel lost, feel hopeless, like there's no purpose to continue living. And this will further worsen the physical and mental well-being of senior citizens even more. Right now in India, there are already 140 million senior citizens, and this number is expected to surpass 500 million for India and will surpass 2.5 billion for the world by the year 2070. So instead of thinking about aging population negatively, why don't we think about it positively and try to find a way to unleash its potential? And I think in order to do that, we need to rethink how we develop technology for senior citizens. So instead of focusing primarily on developing technology that will help senior citizens who are already retired and be at home or be at senior residence, why don't we also think about something that I like to call senior employment technologies, which can be used to allow senior citizens to be active in employment? Well, look around you, especially for people with glasses. We have been using technologies to remove barrier to work for ages. So what we need to do more is we need to develop more of these kinds of technologies so that we can transform senior employment from scarcities to abundance. Let me give you a couple of examples of what these technologies look like. The first category is something that can be called a physical augmentation technologies. So as we age, we lose some of our physical ability. For example, we lose our muscle strength, we lose our ability to walk long distance, or we lose our ability to stand for long hours. Here is an example of technologies that can be called exoskeleton technology from a company in Japan called Achilles, which can allow you to sit while standing. Think about this. There could actually be many jobs that would benefit from this, like teachers, doctors, manufacturing workers, sailors, and even cashiers that need to stand for long hours for their jobs. The next example is something that can be called a collaborative robots, or cobots in short, which is often in the form of robot arms. Now, one interesting use case for this would be for senior surgeon with shaky hand. And imagine this. If we can allow senior surgeons with great skill, great knowledge, but we use this technology so that they can recover their hand and finger dexterity, and they can continue contributing. And we all know in the future, surgeons or doctors in general will be in great shortage. Another physical barrier to work is a physical barrier in getting to work itself. Now, think about this. If a work does not really require a physical presence, then why don't we reimagine the possibility of remote working technologies and going even beyond Zoom to the realm of virtual realities and metaverse? Because these technologies have the potential to remove the journey to work and allow senior citizens to work from anywhere, anytime, and maybe in any countries. The second category is something that can be called a cognitive augmentation technologies. So as we age, we lose some of our cognitive abilities. For example, we lose our ability to memorize things, which is going to be really important when someone needs to learn new skills. Now think about this. What if we can create a software that incorporates artificial intelligence that act as a companion brain for senior citizens? So these technologies, can be used as a personal but artificial work assistants that remind senior citizens important work-related information so they don't have to memorize everything. These technologies can also be used as a personal but artificial tutor that guides senior citizens when they need to learn how to use new technologies. These technologies can also be used as a personal but artificial health assistants that can be used to remove or reduce unhealthy behavior. Why? Because we're human. Sometimes we forget to do things that are actually good for us, or sometimes we make decisions using our emotion too much, which might not lead to the best outcome for our health. So by using this artificial health assistance, more people can remain healthy longer. Retirement for a lot of people is just unemployment in disguise. A 50-year-old person will not even invest in their skill, might not even invest in their health, because they know this investment might not be valued, especially when they know that the chance that they will be working in the 60s is slim. But what if we can change this? What if we can make democratizing senior employment be a national or global agenda similar to climate change? And maybe it could be included in the future versions of the social development goals. What if we can actually encourage companies to hire senior citizens? We can have law, regulation, and enforcement that has been strengthened so that age discriminations has been significantly minimized. What if we can encourage the development of appropriate senior employment technologies, which means that these technologies need to be cheap and accessible. It needs to use local resources and local expertise, and it needs to recognize local cultures and local contexts. If we can do these things, we can become a healthy and wealthy aging society. And by democratizing senior employment, more people can actually choose when they want to be retired and not to be forced to be retired, as it is commonly happening around the world. By then, I believe, we can actually transform the life of many people from suffering through the process of population aging to flourishing through the process of population aging. Thank you very much.